executive sessions. The Readington Township Committee meeting for February 1st, 2021. We'll have a report on that. But before we do that, we will have a salute to the flag. Let me just share my screen. Can you see that?
Yeah, sort of. Partial. Yeah, there. Good.
There you go. Okay. I pledge allegiance,
I pledge allegiance
to
to the flag
To the flag
of the United States
States
of America
Go.
and to
and
the
to the
republic
republic
for
for
which it
Which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and
and
justice.
justice for all.
Okay. Okay. Report on executive session.
Excuse me, John, do you want me to just read my little speech?
Yes, sorry.
Thank you. That's okay.
Thank you, Karen.
This meeting is being recorded. Please keep your microphones on mute throughout the meeting unless you're specifically speaking. If members of the public would like to make a comment or ask a question during the public comment portion or during a public hearing, you have the ability to raise your hand by going to the participant list. I will see your hand raised and I will call on you to speak. If you're using the WebEx app, there will be a small icon at the top of the screen that will bring you to the participant list. After all those who finish speaking have raised their hand, we will ask anyone who is calling in by phone to please unmute their microphone and state your name to be recognized. Please be advised that due to the recent update, I will no longer be able to unmute you. You must, once your hand is raised, unmute yourself and you will be able to speak at that time. If you're calling in by phone and have been muted, you must dial *6 to unmute yourself to speak. The host no longer has the option to send a request to unmute. Please only use the chat button if for some reason you're having trouble with your microphone and cannot be heard. Your name and comment will then be read into the record at that time. Thank you and have a good evening. Okay.
Thank you, Karen. Just with the weather that we're having, hopefully we can make it through without having power outages or any other issues. But if any of the committee members drop or Karen, we'll have to assess what goes on at that. But hopefully we can continue with a quorum of the committee if anything happens. I did have a power blip earlier in the day, knocked out my Wi-Fi, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully everything's all right. Executive session, personnel.
I make a motion to approve a memorandum of understanding between the township and our administrator to move him from an hourly wage to an annual salary.
Second.
Roll call, Karen.
Mrs. Fort?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Aye.
Mr. Holsabush?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mayor Albanese?
Yes. Attorney Klein.
Thank you very much, folks.
You're welcome, Rich. Rich is doing a very good job so far for the township. Has taken over very well from the long tenure of Vita, and we appreciate and look forward to continue working with you.
Me too.
Okay. Attorney-client privilege, arbitration, PBA, that stays in. Attorney-client privilege.
I thought we could approve it, approve the stipulation, no?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the stipulation of settlement with the township and the PBA.
Second.
Mrs. Fort?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Aye.
Mr. Holsabush?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Abstain. Still wasn't part of the discussion.
And Mayor Albanese?
Yes.
Thank you.
My privilege is the executive session minutes from January 19th.
Make a motion to approve the executive session minutes from January 19th for content only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contract negotiations, DPW Buildings and Grounds, Local 469, that stays in. Contract negotiations, C, G, P, and H, Affordable Housing Administrative Agent Services. This is an outside consulting firm that can assist us with our Market to Affordable program.
I'll make move a resolution to approve the CGPH contract for services as needed, not to exceed $15,000 this year.
Mrs. Fort,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Aye.
Mr. Hulseth,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mayor Albanese.
Yes. Contract negotiations, development agreement, Readington Commons LLC.
Make a motion to approve the developers agreement between the township and Readington Commons LLC, who are building an inclusionary development on Route 22 West.
Second.
Mrs. Fort,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Aye.
Mr. Hulseth,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mayor Albanese.
Yes. Contract negotiations, Block 4, Lot 93, Block 9, Lot 4. That stays in. Contract negotiations, professional services, the Rogers Group. Is potential litigation, affordable housing, 216 Dove Cote Court. That stays in. Litigation, Solberg Aviation stays in. And litigation, Rosedale Cemetery Association versus Township of Readington, the committee stays in. Moving on to the consent agenda, all items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the Township Committee and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless there is a committee member or a citizen request, in which the event will order of business and considered in normal sequence on the agenda. Is any member of the committee want to remove any of the consent agenda items?
I'd like to remove item 2, the 2021 vacation carryover.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll take
Any public, yeah.
Okay. I have unmuted anybody. Remember to unmute yourself if you would like to speak. Okay, I don't see any hands up.
okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item number 2.
Second.
Mrs. Fort,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Aye.
Mr. Hulseth,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mayor Albanese.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Jonathan, the 2021 vacation carryover resolution.
Rich, I'd just like to question the carryover policy. There's a employee there with 252 hours, unlimited amount of carryover in these.
Well, if you recall, really in 2020, I believe the decision was made to let employees carry their vacation over because of the pandemic until June 30th of this year. And given the circumstances, nobody was traveling or taking vacation time off. I don't know what they had prior to this that was carried. Give me a day, I can get back to you and tell you on that one specifically. That's the genesis behind the probably the larger than normal amount of carryover time.
It's not the number of it's the sheer number of one employee.
That's what I meant.
250
Number of hours.
It just seems excessive. There should be some limit, but I understand the COVID situation, but that shouldn't be that high of a number. I would.
I don't have the agenda up in front of me, so I can't pull that one item. You want to give me a couple minutes, come back to this maybe? There's a question
there were
on
a
it.
bunch of higher numbers than usual. One at 252 hours, one at 180 hours. 156 hours. So it was big before, but I could be poor memory.
Good. Well, do you want to, Mr. Mayor, you want to come back to this?
That's fine.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay, we'll come back at the
Okay.
end. Just remind me if I forget, please.
I will.
Okay. Next item is comments from the public. Items.
Can we just vote on that resolution, or you want to come back to it totally?
I think we want to come back to it after Rich
Okay, I'm
is
sorry.
able to provide some more detail.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Comments from the public for items listed on the agenda only.
All the callers are unmuted. I see Bob. Bob's hand is up.
Go ahead, Bob. You there, Bob? Okay. Maybe he can come back at the end. Anybody else, Karen, that you see? Hands.
Bob is the only hand that I see up right now.
Okay. All right. Moving on, correspondence, other information is a series of notifications from Clinton Township regarding ordinance changes in their master plan. They're in the Highlands region, so there are some effects there to some ordinance changes that they're making. They had this went before their governing body on the 27th of last month. It's before the Hunterdon County Planning Board on the 4th, 9:15 a.m. If anybody would like comments with regard to the changes that they're making there. It's about a 13-page document. Old business, free technical assistance for energy initiative grant. Rich, you identified that there was some action here that we need to take. Is Rich still here?
I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, there you are. Okay.
I just have folded my cover down.
Okay.
Yes, since the last meeting, some additional information has come to our attention that it would be advantageous to the township to apply for this grant. We have found out that we can get the application in. So you need to motion this application to go forward. What it does, it's we can file the application. My objections or concerns that I had raised at the last meeting about the amount of work that it'll take to actually do all the data collection will still exist. We'll just make that decision if at point sometime when the application if the application is approved.
I make the motion to approve the application for the energy incentives grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you, Rich, for reconsidering it.
New business, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank. We normally do this every year in advance of the budget being introduced. And there's a resolution that we need to approve in order to do so.
That fairly standard accounting rule. My part is in the box. We don't have to in case of emergency.
So I will make a motion to introduce the ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
No, roll call.
Roll call. Okay. Call.
Bonnie, okay.
Mrs. Fort,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Aye.
Mr. Holzbush,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mayor Albanese,
Yes.
and public hearing February 16th.
Right. Our next meeting is on a Tuesday. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Next item on the agenda, appointment of members to the Green Team.
This was I guess it's a committee that was created years ago, and it just hasn't really been active. And it's been recommended that we bring it back to functionality to assist with our sustainable Jersey grant. They haven't really vetted the people that we wanted to make recommendations for. So I'd like to have further discussions before we appoint the members. I don't think there's any real hurry for this. I'd like to make sure that the people that we're offering them to are interested in the position before we offer them up as potential members.
Okay.
It basically would involve people from the township committee, from the planning board, from the museum committee, from recreation, from the open space environmental committee, and be a representative from each of the groups, CERT, rescue squad. So we just need to talk to each of the individual groups and find out who they'd like to have as their representative. I think we need to have some discussions, unless we want to just make the recommendations now and vet them later. But I think we should probably have the conversations first.
Yeah, I think the list that was with this is a very old list because I think at least one of the people has moved out of town. But I also would like to suggest, Jonathan, that when the list is put together, there might be some new faces, and there also should be someone who's willing to serve as a liaison to the school's green team, because that's a connection that really goes townwide, and it's very helpful. They have done that, years ago.
Well, I think Jody Betterman is still in the chairperson of their committee, isn't she?
Yes, I believe. Well, they haven't told me otherwise. I have no idea, but I think so. That was her thing.
So I have some names. I've had some discussions with Robert Becker, and I have some names and some blanks as far as who we want to have from this committee. So I don't know how we want to proceed. Whether we just want to make our recommendations amongst the committee members and come to a consensus.
Yeah, I think we have to approve them at a public meeting, but yeah, I think that would certainly be a good idea.
Okay, then I guess I'll get started. I'll send an email around to the committee of proposed names and vet them and see if everybody's in agreement.
So I see in our packet proposed ordinance. Are we planning on putting an ordinance to formally constitute this committee, or is that just historic artifact from the past that never went into effect?
It didn't go into effect.
Karen brought it to our attention that we'd already had an ordinance in 2019, but we actually had never appointed anyone to the committee.
So we passed the ordinance. We did not pass it, okay?
No, we did not have an ordinance in place to establish a green team.
Okay. So we're talking, okay.
Right. They were appointed, though. There were members appointed as.
Seen the ordinance in front of us for our packet, so I just trying to get the status of that.
Correct.
So how do we want to proceed? Do we want to make an official ordinance for the committee, or do we want to just make it an unofficial?
Karen, it has a number, I think.
No.
No?
No. No.
Is it 4-2020-? Then it's an ordinance, which is different.
This was sent to us by, I believe, Mr. Becker.
Suggestion, okay.
It was a suggested resolution ordinance that he was proposing, I believe, is where it came.
Number, it's 2020-2019. No, I guess not. That's no, okay. That's a different. I can't figure this out, but anyway.
The first part of the document is a suggested ordinance in the packet, or it's a suggested
Right.
a resolution.
Page, I don't know what it is. It's the third page.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an ordinance, the public hearing, but then it goes to something else that may be not really, that may be a different ordinance.
The public hearing is the previous item in that minutes. That was for amendments for what, a bond hearing? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Next
okay.
item was talking about this.
Got
Yes,
it.
I
Okay.
think what I highlighted in the box referred to the green team in the
Right.
minutes. Right.
I see it. Okay.
Thank you.
So Jonathan, you'll gather some names for the committee to take a look at.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll send an email out to the committee.
Cool. Thank you. Any other comments on that from the committee? Okay. Use of performance bond guarantee, Readington Commons, Block 4, Lot 51, and acceptance of replacement performance guarantee for the Ridge at Readington, Block 4, Lot 51 and 52. This is the property known as the Readington Commons on Route 22 West. They previously had a performance bond guarantee in the amount of that the township was holding of $727,674. That would be released back, and a new performance guarantee for the residential development with affordable housing inclusion of $192,241.
Rob, Ryan, you're on the phone. Would that cover the demolition for the old portion of the project, or should that be part of the performance guarantee we already have in hand?
Actually, Rob was conflicted out of this one,
Okay.
but there's a letter here from the consulting engineers that tells you that the original performance guarantee, which was the 727,674, covered the demolition of the two buildings, which has taken place. So they're recommending that that resolution be, that bond be released, and that the new one, which is 192,241 replacement, and that be accepted. So there's a resolution in your package at the end.
Right, but I thought that the one covered the old and the demolition, and the new one covered the construction of the new. And I wasn't sure whether there was coverage for the demolition of the old.
Has the demolition already taken place?
I believe it's already been done, yeah.
Yeah, it's done.
Are the pads removed as well?
Everything that was supposed to be taken
I believe
care of.
so. Yeah,
Okay.
from
Okay, I thought there were still some pads that needed to be removed.
I haven't heard that that's the case.
All right, that was my only question as to whether the demolition for the pads had taken place, and if the money for the performance guarantee was still.
I don't see any mention of the pad in the letter from the conflict engineer.
No. But they did an inspection out there, so I take it that whatever had to be removed was removed that would satisfy them.
Okay.
I mean, I
haven't been out there in a while. The last time I was out there, there were still 3 or 4 pads that were still out on the site.
Yeah, I'd have to read through this performance estimate here to see if there's anything that addresses that. I mean, I can see that there is removal and disposal of curb listed here, and some pavement excavation, a concrete island excavation. Is that something that's there existing? I don't know.
My concern was just that if they don't proceed with the building of the new building, that the portion of the old building, the office buildings, was removed back to its original situation prior to them relinquishing the performance bond.
I don't see any mention of pads specifically, Jonathan. Is that something that was discussed at the planning board?
No, it was something that I saw when I was out at the job site. Actually.
Okay, because the instructions from the resolution of the planning board that would be that would be released upon demolition of the two existing office buildings. So, I mean, that's what they went on.
Okay.
My dim memory of this project from when I was in planning board was, or whatever it was, they were going to use the existing pads for the new structures. Has that changed? We're going to keep the exact same footprints.
Exactly. No. There's one building that's remaining for the clubhouse, kind of in the center there. They took 2 buildings down. I don't know that I don't think they're reusing all the pads, and a lot of the curb is coming out. The parking lot's being reconfigured.
All right.
So what do we want to do? We want to hold it and confirm?
Sharon, this is David Gardner from Larkin. Am I able to speak?
I would think they should recognize you, yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Gardner.
Hi, guys. The pads have all been taken out and inspected, the old pads. And the one building in the front is the one we're converting into the clubhouse. So I believe the letter, because you guys were inspecting the removal of everything. So we've knocked everything down, and they've been crushing up the concrete. Everything's down other than the one building that's staying. So the old performance bond was for the office medical project that was a fail, and this is the performance bond for the new development. It's a lower number because the laws change. You don't have to bond everything. That was just the public improvements.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Any other comments from the committee?
I'll make a motion to accept this resolution to change the, I make a motion to release the performance bond guarantee.
Taken care of in that resolution there. So if you want to move the resolution, you can do that.
I move the resolution.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay. Mrs. Fort?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Aye.
Mr. Holzbush?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mayor Albanese?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Clarification.
All right, Karen, you had added one item here.
Yes.
Let me go to it. The Ryland developers. There we go.
I guess I'll speak to it because we have our alternate engineer that had to opine on this one too, but it has to do with the pump station, I guess, for the Ryland developers. And they're looking for a treatment works approval consent from the township, and by agreement with Ryland developers was an agreement to take over the sanitary sewers and the pump station. So a resolution in the packet to consent to that application for the treatment works approval. And to the letter from the engineer say that when it comes time to, he recommends that a developer's agreement be done to look at the materials and the technical specifications for the pump station, and that we enter into an agreement with the developers separately for that to make sure that it's compatible with our systems that we use. So, you know, these things can be maintained.
Okay, so this is the Ryland Developers NJDEP Treatment Works application, Block 14, Lot 29.02 and 29.03, 39 home settlement agreement over near the Ryland Inn. And we're looking to approve a resolution for that submission of the application of sanitary sewers and a pump station. I need a motion.
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Call, please.
Mrs. Fort?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Aye.
Mr. Holzbush?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mayor Albanese?
Yes.
Thank you.
That brings us to the administrator's report.
Before you do that, do we want to go back to the vacation thing?
Yeah, Rich, while you're
Yeah, well, I checked that as far as I could. The individual is a police officer, and I can't tell how long or how many hours he's accrued over the years that have moved forward. Um, I know he is a long-serving member, so he has probably accrued at least 4 weeks vacation just by contractual terms, whatever else he's had prior. And Sharon can weigh in on this. I should have asked this the other day, but I'm not really sure the purpose of that resolution other than information. So not to stymie everything. I can't give you a better answer than that right now, Mr. Heller.
Concern is I don't want to end up on the Channel 16 news where we just had a recording officer who $300,000 for accrued vacation time.
Well, I suggest you look at your policy probably in your handbook and see what it says, because I think that's what we've got right now, you know?
And if it's, and he's under a contract, so the contract will prevail.
Okay, take that under consideration in negotiations, Mr. Shola.
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021 vacation carryover. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of the 2021 vacation carryovers.
a second.
All seconds, no one else is.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Rich, we're at the Trader's report.
Yeah, I figured I needed to put that backdrop in to make us feel a little bit better. First, thank you very much for the approval of the MOU. I truly appreciate it. I only have a couple tonight. One is timely. Since the governor's state of emergency is still in effect, the building will be closed tomorrow. Non-essential personnel will be working remotely as they did today, and Public Works will be out there doing the usual backup job of keeping the roads open and everyone safe. I talked to the chief earlier today, and there were no, by 2 o'clock, there were no major incidents in town, although I've seen the notifications that there are various power outages and restorations occurring because of the storm, and the wind is going to pick up overnight a little bit, so you may see that occurring a little more frequently. And I wish everybody be safe. The only other item is to come up with a replacement date for the canceled goal setting session. I know Karen has a couple of conflicts, which I believe were the 13th and 20th, Karen?
Yes.
Okay, so that being said, the 6th is too close, so I would suggest the 27th of February, if you're so inclined to do it.
Good by me.
Is that a Saturday?
Yes.
Same process, same procedures. We start at 9. We advertise an end date, an end time, I'm sorry, of 12 o'clock. I'll send the email out again to refresh everybody's memory on to how we're going to actually do this. But we advertise a 12 o'clock quit time, so we are actually quitting at 12 o'clock. And hopefully between now and then, I can figure out how to do it virtually if that's the way what we need to do. Right? Everybody good with that? Or you want to get back to me?
I'm good.
You're good? Where's good?
Yeah.
Betty Ann, Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Other than that, folks, be safe.
Thank you, Rich. Attorney's report?
I have nothing to add. I sent one around separately, so that's it.
Thank you for that. Rob, engineer's report?
I don't have anything new to report.
Committee reports. Betty Ann Ford, His Pres, Museum, Zoning, Emergency Services, Fire Official, Library.
The only thing is we've been approached by David, I can't remember his name at the moment, the Mount Salem or whatever project that has cleaned up and restored 2 old cemeteries in town. They've completed 2. They've got their eye on another one. I will get the details and get that to Sharon so that an agreement can be made up with them if the committee wishes to do so. They've done really a nice job and they maintain them too, so. Is everybody okay with,
Yes.
when I get the information, getting it to Sharon to write up an agreement? Okay.
Thank
You've
you.
done good work for 2 of them. Let's continue.
Yeah,
Yep.
we have lots.
Right.
Certainly more than 6.
Yeah.
Double digits, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have.
Thank you. Jonathan Heller, Construction Code Enforcement, EC, Engineering Roads, Building and Grounds Recycling.
I do have the 2020 annual report for the Readington Township Environmental Commission. Just quickly go through some of the things that they've done over the last year. The platform received award for Readington Township Sustainable Jersey Silver status. The Wildlife Management Subcommittee. The Wildlife Subcommittee developed a deer management plan that was approved by the Township Committee and implemented for 2020. Grants, we received a revised protocol for grant application. An ANJAC grant for pollinator garden was received. 2 routes for rivers grants were received and carried out, resulting in planting of hundreds of trees in the buffer zones. Successful tree plantings at Bowman's 50. Grants for an electric charging station and electric vehicle were applied for and received. The Water Watch Committee was created. Testing a site on Rockaway Creek found high levels of bacteria. We continue to monitor that, and we're working to try and get that remediated. EC proposed and the Township Committee approved and passed ordinance 22-2020 banning single-use plastic bags. A request for removal application was created to assist residents requesting removal of dead ash or other trees on township rights of way. The ash trees received second treatment for the emerald ash borer. We accepted the Trex challenge whereby plastic bags and other plastic were collected and taken to the recycling center, resulting in a donation of benches to the town. We sponsored the Raritan Headwaters implementation of COVID-19 safe drive-through well testing for the township. In the year of the COVID pandemic, the number of tests, 176, were close to a high of 200 the year before. A successful stream cleanup at 4 locations along the south coast of the Raritan River. Information on pest threats to Readington Township, including the emerald ash borer and spotted lanternfly, was added to the township website. We attended virtual conferences. New Jersey Future, the Watershed Institute, New Jersey Shade Tree Federation, and work continued on the New Jersey DEP 319.8 Stormwater Protection Grant. So those are some of the activities that the Environmental Committee has worked on over the last year. So that's it for me. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Jonathan. A lot of hard work there and effort by the Environmental Commission. Very fortunate to have such dedicated volunteers going through those efforts in this township. Thank you. Jürgen Husselbusch, Farmland, OSAB, Agriculture Land Advisory Committee, and Police Department.
Okay. Update on Open Space Board trail sessions. We've been working the past 2 weeks on 2 new trailheads. One is Rocky Road on Indian Purchase. We have a trail now operational, and we've been working on clearing a second loop trail for the public. So that should be available, that second trail, within about a month. Second volunteer effort has been on SOMS. We're now working on a second larger loop trail along the state wildlife management area, and that's probably projected to be available in the spring. So the board is very active with winter volunteer sessions. We will probably post some additional dates for folks, for residents. Acquisition. On Friday, the 29th, we closed on Garrison. That is a 28-acre parcel on Coddington. That goes into our kind of natural resource inventory. It is designed to protect watersheds, several streams, and we will look at future trail use. It also was a parcel that we've been reimbursed 50% going into the closing with help from Hunter Land Trust. So this is another parcel where we expect to be fully reimbursed by the county and the state through the preservation effort. So that's it for me.
Okay. Thank you, Jürgen. Ben Smith, Finance, Board of Health, Sewer Advisory, Municipal Court.
Sure. Today I received from Rich another draft of the budget, which he and I will go over. We are anticipating introducing the budget in the second meeting of March. That's March 16th. And we'll be iterating between then and now. Now and then.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. For myself, nothing further to report. Planning Board, Affordable Housing, Recreation, Social Services. Comments from the public. Karen, if you could take a look. You're on mute, I think, Karen. Let me see. Yep.
I am on mute. I'm sorry. I see Bob's hand up again.
Hi, Bob. Can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Mute yourself.
I don't know if Bob is trying to call in by phone. If that's the case, Bob, you need to push *6 to unmute yourself.
I see ya.
Oh, okay, there he is.
I can't hear you. Can't hear you either, Jonathan, if you're talking. Okay. All right. Anybody else, Karen?
Other than Bob, I don't see anybody else's hand up.
Okay. Sorry, Bob.
Do you want to write into the chat?
Too long.
No, too long. Okay.
All right. Okay. Comments from the governing body? Okay. Motion to adjourn. You're on mute, Jonathan.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
snow.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Stay warm.
Good night, be safe.